Hey, what's going on? My name is Henry.
And I'm Ryan.
This is Breakable Program. This is a new thing we're trying out where we give our opinions on the news that we covered the week previous and a few smaller news topics. So we're going to get started with the first big topic that we had, I guess. This is like the biggest topic we had last week, I feel, is a story with EQO and him getting suspended from 3 games. Actually, why don't you go ahead and...
EQO is a DPS player for the Fusion. During, I think it was a stream, he squinted his eyes while talking about Koreans, and because of that he got suspended for 3 games, got fined $2,000, and his streaming privileges were revoked until July 17th. After that, he donated $5,000 to ADL's No Place for Hate campamping.
No, Fusion actually donated $5,000.
Fusion donated it, but he donated $3,000.
Yeah, he donated $3,000 to the Anti-Defamation Leagues. So when I was looking it up, it was originally about stopping anti-Semitic hate, and now it's just kind of like this like catch-all for all different kind of hate. And they have like a school program. It's called No Place for Hate campaign. It's like an anti-bullying program, but it's also like a program to have like unbiased teaching practices. But yeah, that's what happened with the EQO story, and there was a lot of people were mad, and I'll just explain this to you because I'm pretty sure you don't know, but a lot of people were mad that he got suspended. A lot of people think that it's not that big of a deal, so that's what I want to get your take on that. Like, what do you think about it? Like, that happened, everything that...
What do I think about what he did?
What do you think about what he did and like the response to what the Overwatch League did?
I think the suspension was justified.
Okay.
But I think it needs to be more than a suspension. He kind of needs to like know what he did. He needs to, like, what you were talking about is how they, there's these small guys and suddenly they're thrown into Overwatch League and they don't know how to handle themselves professionally.
Yeah.
I think they need to have some sort of like training how to act professionally.
Yeah, there was a guy that posted a comment on that video saying like, are you kidding? Like, training on how to act in front of people? But like, that's a real thing. That's called public relations training. It's not something that's uncommon. Like, people go through that training. Like, most celebrities have gone through that training so they can know how to act in front of people and know what to say and know what not to say. And it seems like, because XQC, even some of the coaches, like, it was a coach, I forgot for which team, but it was a coach that made like a bomb joke, and then he ended up apologizing for it, and he ended up like donating some money to a Hiroshima relief effort or something like that. Well, go ahead.
Keep going. Well, I think I've finished my statement. They just need to have some sort of training before all this happens. And also, if you get a suspension or if you have an infraction, you should have to get some sort of reminder training or whatever.
Like sensitivity training?
Yeah,
that's a thing. Yeah, sensitivity training is a thing. Like, hey,
are they doing that?
I don't know. Like,
well, they should do it for Overwatch League.
They should.
I thought you meant like they were doing that for Overwatch League.
No, I don't know if they're actually doing it right now for Overwatch League, but I feel like that's a thing that should be done. Like, they should be trying to do that if they haven't already. There was a lot of people mad going like, this isn't that big of a deal. And have you watched the video?
I haven't.
It's a short video. It's literally like 2 seconds, and he like pulls his eyes back to make it look like he's Korean. A lot of people were going like, oh, this is such a big deal for such a little thing. It was like 2 seconds, and he got suspended for 3 games and fined $2,000. What do you think about that? Do you think it was like too big of a deal for this?
It was kind of amplified. It doesn't need to be this big of a thing. I think giving it publicity kind of makes it worse.
Do you think that the suspension and the fine should have not been that big, or what do you think?
It's kind of weird because he was never really told not to, was he? I mean,
it's in the contract that they signed that they can't. There's like, I haven't read the contract out. They have nobody's read the contract except for lawyers and the actual members that signed up for it, right? So
okay, I didn't take that into account. If he had a contract that he signed saying that he wouldn't do things like that, then I think it is justified.
What I wanted to say is like the fact that the Overwatch League, it's a business, like that's a thing that I think a lot of people aren't like taken into consideration. Did you see the video that came out with Jake, and I forgot the other player's name, but they're from the Houston Outlaws, and they were on like traditional media. They were on, I think, like the Today Show or something, like talking to regular people, not gamers, just like regular people, like
normal people, not gamers.
Yeah, normal American people. And I'm just saying, like, because the majority of traditional media isn't into gaming, right? There's like, what, G4 remember that TV? Do you remember that station, or did you have
No.
no? Well, G4.
I know there's like, I think there's ESPN Sports, esports, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
And I remember saying another one, but I forget what it was called. Maybe it was what you said.
Yeah, but the point is, like, traditional media doesn't know anything about esports. Even though it's big, Blizzard still has to take into the consideration what kind of what kind of face they're putting out for the gaming community. And if they have like situations like with XQC and with EQO doing like racist stuff and saying homophobic stuff, even if it's not, like, even if that's not what their intention was, that's what traditional media is going to look on. And then it's going to be negative towards the Overwatch League and for Blizzard. And then they're going to be losing out on money from people that going like, oh, we know that your players are like racist and this stuff. And even if that's not the case, that's still what it's going to look like. And they're not going to want to put money into something with that kind of reputation of being like racist and bigoted, just like all around bigoted. Even though it's not like, do you think that EQO is racist? Well, I'm not sure about EQO. I don't know him that well. But like I've been watching XQC. He doesn't seem racist. He just seems like a guy.
He's not racist. He's just saying offensive statements, and when you're kind of put on the pedestal of being a professional player, then you have to be held to certain standards. You know, I think the Overwatch League is trying to be taken seriously. It's trying to be like almost, or actually not almost, but a real sporting league.
Yeah. And
you don't see other sporting leagues with people saying these kind of things, even outside. If they say these kind of things, it can be hurtful to them and their organization. So you don't see it. So I think it kind of bridges the gap between, you know, their own Twitch stream and being a professional. You know, I think they have to be held to the standard of being a professional.
Yeah, but what you said, like, you know more about like regular sports than I do. I don't really watch regular sports, but there have been times in the news where I hear about like, oh, this player like killed a person, especially in the NFL, right? Like
or no, like a couple years ago, a hockey player got like expelled or whatever for trying to carry opioids through the Canadian border.
Like stuff like that. Like I remember a few months ago, there was this guy, I think it was a basketball player, that got in some hot water because he like said something about he said something sexist about a female reporter. Do you remember that?
I don't.
No? Okay, well that thing happened, and then like people were making a big fuss about it, and I feel like that doesn't happen as much in traditional sports and when like compared to esports. Like it seems like that's happening like.
Well, I mean, when have you seen it? When have you seen it in an esport that's not Overwatch?
Well, actually that's true, huh? It's just Overwatch, but there's been.
So I don't. Well, do you even watch other esports?
No,
because I remember.
Overwatch.
So in Overwatch, it's still new, and like what I was saying, you know, people don't know how to act professional yet, and it's new, and I can't find the words, but it's just a switch between, you know, being their own little player with their Twitch streams or whatever, and being in a whole professional environment.
Yeah.
And they just don't really understand it yet. But for normal sports, you know, these sports have been out for many years, and there's kind of a standard to how you should act.
Well, that is where Blizzard is wanting to get to, right? That's the pinnacle of what they want to be, is just like considered a regular sport and have that same professionalism and that same marketability that like football and all that stuff has. Because even in football, like in the NFL, didn't they just like lose a sponsor with Papa John's or something? Like Papa John's stopped sponsoring the NFL because of the whole kneeling stuff.
Oh yeah. And I think that is a big thing about Overwatch League too. I don't know what the sponsor situation, but it doesn't seem to be too prevalent. But
yeah,
you know, sponsors, if they want to get sponsors, or if they don't want to piss off sponsors right now, then they need to not have people say these offensive things, you know? Because even in I remember soccer, there was a guy who was sponsored by Coca-Cola, and he was seen in a photo drinking Pepsi, and his sponsor sued him. And this is a legit thing.
That's funny.
And he was on vacation. It's little things like that. So if that little of a thing is punishable, then these big offensive things, they're not going to be good. They're not going to be good for advancing the legitimacy,
like the marketability. Yeah, the legitimacy in the market. Yeah,
they need to be professional.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I feel like people aren't taking into account. We're going like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. He just did a little joke. Why is he getting this?
But they can't. People have to realize this isn't a Twitch stream. This is this is a sport.
Well, it is a Twitch stream.
Well, okay. That's not what I mean.
Yeah, I get you.
They're not just a normal Twitch streamer. They're professional Overwatch League players. They need to be held to the standard of...
They need to be held to the standard of athletes, because that's what they are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they are. You can't just go around doing whatever you want and then people going like, oh, it's not fair. It was just a joke. Like, no, it doesn't matter if it was a joke or if it wasn't or if it was taken out of context. They still said those things, and they can be taken out of context and put in front of a sponsor's eyes and go like, hey, this is why you shouldn't be supporting the Overwatch League. And that's why I think the punishment was
justified. Still, I mean, it's kind of like he does this little thing, $2,000 fine and you're suspended. Like, no words. Like, just that. And he needs...
He sent out an apology also. He wrote a letter.
Well, yeah. But still, he didn't... That was him, though. That wasn't Overwatch League talking to him. Or maybe Overwatch League did talk to him and it was just behind closed doors.
Yeah, they probably did talk to him. Yeah, it was probably behind closed doors. Because I remember the whole thing with the XQC situation. He talked about it, how like there were people like talking to him going like, hey, let me coach you on how to act. You can't this doesn't happen again in the future.
Just to wrap it up, I think we should say that the punishment was justified for EQO. The Overwatch League needs to be held to a bigger standard of professionalism, which is why these little things can't happen. And I think the players need to have some sort of training on being a better person or being... Yeah.
Just like better in public, PR relations.
Better professionalism.
Okay, so I think that was a good first topic. Let's go ahead and start talking about the Boss Key story that actually came out yesterday. Well, it came out yesterday, but it's today for us, or it hasn't even came out for us yet. Basically, Boss Key is making Lawbreakers free to play. Boss Key was trying to make Lawbreakers free to play before it came out. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but I think we should start out with, kind of how Lawbreakers got into this whole...
Oh, yeah. Let's say what happened just so people know what we're talking about. Okay, so Lawbreakers is a game that came out last year in November, and it's an arena shooter where, you have like different characters that have different abilities. It's supposed to be competitive.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like, it was marketed as a very hardcore game.
Good, like fast-paced, hardcore, competitive shooter, and there was a lot of hype around it. There wasn't that much hype.
There wasn't a lot of... There was some hype.
There was some hype around it, and then when it came out, very, very few people were playing it. Like
crashed.
Like, yeah, it was doing so poorly.
And there was a lot of things that led up to this. One thing that was pretty big was what's his name? The guy, the main guy.
Plazinski?
Jeff. Yeah, it was like Jeff Kleminski or something. What is it?
Yeah, Cliff Plazinski.
Cliff Blazinski. I'm mixing him up with Jeff Kaplan.
Yeah.
Cliff Blazinski. If you watch videos of him, he's kind of very aggressive. I think the way he acted was a little bad for the...
Pompous?
Yeah.
I think it was like too full of himself. Well, yeah. Well, let's just keep continuing on with the story. Like, we'll just to finish up like the little summary of what happened.
Basically, a lot of his conduct led up to people perhaps not liking Lawbreakers, and also with Lawbreakers being released at the same time as a couple other first-person shooters, plus being
it was like
umbrellaed by Overwatch, because everyone was comparing it to Overwatch, even though they were like nothing alike.
Yeah. That was a big thing that killed the game, was that everybody was going like, well, if I already have Overwatch, why should I get Lawbreakers?
But really, they're like completely different games.
So that's what Lawbreakers was. That's what happened. Like low player count, and for a while it was not for like the longest time, but for a little bit they were trying to like rub it off, trying not to say anything about it, going like, oh yeah, we're gonna keep playing, we're gonna keep pushing our game forward and keep supporting it no matter what.
Yeah, like when they added competitive boss leagues.
Yeah, they added competitive, and legit when they added competitive, there was a 30-minute queue time, 30 to 40-minute queue time just to get into a game.
Oh yeah, just last week I tried to get into a normal game, just a quick play or whatever, and I was waiting for about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and by then I was just tired of waiting, and I I left.
Yeah, you left because it's like your game should not be a 40-minute queue time.
It's sad, honestly, because it's actually a really good game.
Yeah, it was really good. Like I really liked it. I don't know if you liked it as much as I did, but I liked it a lot. We made a few videos about it, not just like news videos, but like some like gameplay videos about Lawbreakers. And yeah, there was a point like a month ago where I tried to get on the game also, and I was waiting for 2 hours. Like I wasn't sitting there for 2 hours, but like I left it on in the background and waited and see like, I wonder if I'll get a game. And 2 hours later, still could not find a game after 2 hours.
And even when I had my queue, there's an option to like select regions, and I selected every single possible region.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's the state of Lawbreakers right now. But they recently announced yesterday actually that they're taking Lawbreakers free to play. What do you think it's gonna do for the game?
At most, it'll get us a little boost. Probably not much, but I don't think it'll go over 1,000 concurrent players for the next month, and that's being really generous saying 1,000. I doubt it'll even get up to 100.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I feel like not the precedent, but like people already know about Lawbreakers as being this horrible game, and even the people who never tried it and just heard stories about it, they probably think like, oh, Lawbreakers is really bad. Like it's really not. It's like a good game, and they're not going to be interested in to go into a game where it's dead already, right? Like it's actually dead. There's no players on it right now, so even people who want to jump in, they're gonna still have to wait that like 20, 30, 40 minute, 50 minute, 2 hour long wait to even find a match, if they do find a match.
Yeah, and you also have to take into account that the game wasn't marketed well, and a lot of people probably just don't even know about it.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like I saw a few commercials on TV. There's a lot of people that don't know about it, and most of the gaming community knows about it, but the only reason they know about it is because it was such a bad failure.
I mean, I remember when Destiny 2 was coming out, I saw a lot of commercials. More recently, Kingdom Come Deliverance. There's a lot of stuff for it.
Yeah, there's nothing for Lawbreakers, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that going free to play now is gonna help it much.
Yeah, but they don't have a choice though. I mean, nobody's playing, so if it even gets a couple more people, then it might help out. You never know. I
think it's the good choice. I think it's a good choice, but I don't know. I just don't know how much it's gonna help the game actually grow. I think that if the free to play doesn't work out, they're gonna end up like closing the game.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna doing a Paragon and shutting it down.
Well, no, I don't think it's right to compare it to Paragon, because Paragon was the game that was in early access and it was trumped by, well, not trumped, but I would say just.
I think trumped is a good word.
Okay, well, it was trumped by Fortnite because Epic Games was getting so much revenue from Fortnite that they're like, okay, why are we gonna put resources into this game that's like not making much money and it's still in development when we have this game that's still in development, but it's a huge thing. But let's stick with Lawbreakers for now.
Yeah. Okay, what were we talking about?
Going free to play, probably not going to help the game.
Probably isn't. Yeah, it's probably not going to help the game much. And if it doesn't help, then they're probably going to have to shut it down. And I don't know. Like we bought the game, so.
Well, I hate to say it. I don't know what my feeling is like. If they shut it down, if refunds should be a thing.
I mean, the game was literally only playable for like 3 months until it got to a ridiculous level. Well, wait, November. When is November? What month is November? Sorry, I don't know my months.
No, it's 11.
No, yeah, the game was literally only playable for like a month and a half. And then after that, it wasn't that it was bad. Not counting
early access, because early access there was a little bit.
Yeah, early access was like the biggest time, because in early access they had a concurrent player count of 7,000 people.
Plus it was free during early access.
Yeah, it was free during early access and they had 7,000 people. So if they would have kept it free to play, I think they could have kept that, it going. I don't know. I think they should have kept it free to play. But the game was only playable for like a month and a half because of the small player base. Like you couldn't get into a game for most of the time that the game's been out. Do you think they should do refunds if they end up shutting it down? I don't know.
It's a touchy subject because look at this company. They didn't get. They're not they probably, well, if they refund us, it's probably gonna be like nothing, because nothing that they get, and look at how much time and money they put into it. So it's like they're probably not gonna want to, but then again, they might have to, because they
didn't deliver on a game that they were.
And they just kind of teased about making a new game, and how happy are fans gonna be if they paid $30 for another game that was unplayable, and then they come out with a new game and they still put money in the other game.
That's a good point. We didn't even talk about that yet. The fact that in that same statement that they said that Lawbreakers was going to come out and be free to play. They also said that they're coming out with a new game, and they actually put out a picture, and we'll show the picture right now, I guess. And do you have the picture up?
Yeah.
Yeah, the picture is like a 2D side scroller. It's called Double Dudes 2, Quadruple the Dudes. What a name, right? And they said that they're working on a new game, and then they posted this picture after. So you think that people are going to be mad if they don't get a refund and then they come out with this new game? Because Lawbreakers was their first game. Like, this is a brand new company, and that was their first game.
Well, definitely, it's gonna ruin the reputation of the company, that people paid all this money. Well, not that it's a whole lot of money, but they paid money for a game and they didn't really get what they paid for.
Yeah.
And so it might ruin the reputation if they don't refund. Then again, though, not a lot of people bought the game. A lot of people know about it, so it's like they're not going to be hurting a lot of people. And I think it really depends how much the company actually cares about its consumer.
Dang, get wrecked, Jesus.
Well, it's kind of the truth, though. I mean, they made a game and the game didn't deliver.
Yeah, that is true. Like, it's been unplayable for longer than the game's been out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, more than half of the time it's been unplayable. But let's go ahead and pretty much.
Let's take a look at this Double Dudes 2.
Yeah,
just
that's
some
what I was
speculation.
Gonna move on to. Okay, so Double Dudes 2, Quadruple the Dudes.
Yeah, Double Dudes 2. First of all, is there a Double Dudes 1? Because I've never.
No, there's no Double Dudes 1. This is in the last video that just came out, so everybody should be familiar with it because I talked about it in the video. This is Double Dudes 2. There's
looks kind of like an arcadey side-scroller game, like you said before. There's 4 people on the cover, so it hopefully is gonna be co-op or something we can play with or against other players.
This feels, I wanted to say, like, this feels like such a huge departure from, like, Lawbreakers, like, and everything that Cliff Bleszinski has done, because he's like known for making like Gears of War and what other game? He made some like Unreal Tournament and Gears of War, and then he made Lawbreakers, which is another first-person shooter,
which was supposed to, well, not supposed to, but an arcade. What am I saying? It was a Twitch shooter, and similar to the other things he's created, and this is just completely different. Yeah,
so this is weird to like jump to this. So that's why I think a lot of people have been saying like this game isn't the actual game that's coming out, and it's actually what's behind this picture. If you look at the picture, it's like a torn page. Do you see the torn part of the picture? Yeah, and it says like S, and that's what people are thinking the game actually is. Like, it's actually not Double Dudes 2, because I don't know, I feel like this would be a good concept if you were like an indie developer.
No, this would be a good April Fool's thing, but it was obviously uploaded today or yesterday.
Yeah, it was today. This was today.
Or yesterday if you're watching the video later.
Oh yeah, this was yesterday if you're watching it later, yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it's too late for April Fool's, but you never know. I'm still making jokes here and there. So
I don't know. It just feels like such a big departure from what like Cliff Bleszinski usually does. They did say that they were like getting like new leaders for this project. I was gonna say that. I was saying it's probably the head of the project is gonna be different than Cliff, and they're probably gonna have something else in development too, which is the book behind it or page behind it. Yeah. Do you think they're gonna come out with 2 games?
Well, I mean, it's not uncommon for a developer to have 2 games in the making at the same time. It's not, come first. But
Bosky is a new developer, and they lost a lot of money from Lawbreakers.
Yeah, so maybe this Double Dudes 2, I mean, it's probably not going to be as big of a game as Lawbreakers, in the fact that, like, just how much time they put into it and how much money they put into it. So maybe it's going to be a little revenue boost.
Oh, that's actually a good point, right? They could just be using using this as a little like to get some money back in the bank.
Yeah, maybe if they have plans for a future project, but they need more money, or maybe they need more staff to help them with it, then this would be a great way to boost it. And it looks like, I don't know, we can't really see much, but it might be a fun game. And if there's pictures of it, an in-game and a startup menu page, then it should be
it's like far along, right?
I mean, speculation, it's probably still in its alpha stages. It's probably playable.
I think what you're saying is a good like conspiracy, but I think just personally,
it's funny how you say conspiracy, because it's like, I don't know if that's the right term to use.
It's not the right term. Not conspiracy. What do you call it? Just
speculation.
It's a good speculation, but I still think, I don't know, there's still something inside me that thinks like this is just like a red herring, and the actual game is like, you know, on the second page, and we still don't know what it is yet.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that, because I don't think I don't know what would that do for them, having a fake game right here, and it's past April Fool's, so it's obviously not a joke. What would be good for them for doing that, especially a developer that failed with the previous game they made?
Just to throw people off the scent, you know, like everybody's going like, oh, it's Double Dudes 2, and like honestly, who's like actually really excited about this? Like by looking at this, it doesn't look like something I would not get this game. I would just go like, oh, I would not get it.
I think it's too early for me to say that, because we don't know anything about it.
We don't, but like just looking at it, I'm not really into, you know, 80s 2D side-scrolling, you know, shooting games. It's not something that I would be interested in, just personally. So I think it's, I don't know. I guess we just disagree.
Well, maybe it's just another way for them to get more people to know about their name and more people to like Boss Key Productions, you know? If they're introducing a whole different genre, then they might get a whole new set of a player base, and that might help boost future games.
Yeah, I guess, I'm sure like some people will be into it. It looks like Contra, you know? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I guess we just disagree. Like I see where you're coming from, but I just don't. I don't think it's the case.
I honestly, like what you're saying is how it's fake. I think that's kind of. I think that's
a little out
far
there.
out.
I thought what else. Okay, well, I guess we're just not on the same page on that. But I guess
same page.
Same page. Okay.
The game doesn't look particularly interesting, but you know, maybe it'll be something that helps Boss Key Productions, because I hope they get bigger, and I hope Lawbreakers is playable again, because it really is a great game.
Okay, moving on to the next story, we have, this is a short story. We have Razer just came out with their digital store. So the way that this works is
it's like GOG.
I don't
actually
know
no, that's actually not.
So the way that this store works, you have to pay money to get currency, and then use that currency. I think that's how it works. Hold up.
No, I just looked at it, and there might be two ways to pay for it.
I guess the way this works, there's two like different ways to pay, with gold currency and with silver. And if you pay with gold or silver currency, like the in-store currency, then they give you like special discounts. But the games that they're selling aren't actual games. They're just selling you what is it called? Keys.
Looking at it here, the featured games, they have Ghost Recon Wildlands, which is 67% off, and there's a little icon for Uplay. So obviously they're just probably giving a key for you to go get it on Uplay or Steam. I think it's just I think it's a way to kind of bridge people into gaming through Razer, through their Razer Cortex. I don't know what the gain is for them though.
I think a big thing that they're trying to do is just to drive traffic to their site. So like once they go to their site, they go like, oh, look at Razer and all their other products. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. It doesn't look like it would be useful to them in any other way. Would you use this? Because there's some like pretty big discounts on here.
Definitely. Even just looking now, I saw Wildlands. I've been wanting to get Wildlands. I'm just kind of debating because I don't know who I'd play it with. But scrolling down, I see there's some good discounts, and it'll be something I look at just to, you know, check for discounts and whatever. But it wouldn't be my main thing. Yeah,
you'd probably still use Steam.
Yeah, I'll definitely like look here every once in a while, see if I see a good discount, because there are good deals right now.
Yeah, I don't think there's any real downside to using the site for the consumer, because you know you're just getting the discount, and if you're going through an extra process to get better deals, it's just one more process to save like a 20% maybe. Like the biggest discount I see, like just looking at it right now, is a 67% discount for Wildlands, which is crazy. That's a lot. I don't get how Razer's making any money from this. Like, what's their goal? Like, how are they benefiting?
In the end, I don't really care what Razer gets from it, because now I know I have another store I can go to look for deals, and it's pretty cool. Because even just seeing the games now, I think I might get something. Fortnite is the largest game on YouTube. Okay, now, as of now, Fortnite has more viewers than Minecraft, and as you know, Minecraft was a huge game. And especially with how many channels that made Minecraft videos, it's pretty amazing how this game that's still in early access has gotten more viewers than Minecraft.
Yeah, I mean, that's a thing. Like, Fortnite has like gotten so popular. Like a few months ago, like I said in the video that was up, like a few months ago, nobody knew what Fortnite was, or everybody thought that Fortnite was like just like a rip off of PUBG.
Yeah.
And now nobody plays PUBG. Well, I mean, people play PUBG, but like Fortnite in terms of players above PUBG. Like, no, not as many people are playing PUBG as they were before. Fortnite hit a record also of having the most videos uploaded in a single month for that game. Huge deal. Means more people are interested in like uploading games about Fortnite than any other game ever in the past.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's only indicative of the direction that Fortnite is going. But you know what people say, like when things have like when things flash really bright, that means they also go away really fast too. So I don't know if Fortnite is gonna be on a downward trend soon. It was like an explosive growth. It wasn't like something that happened over the course of like a year like Minecraft was, because Minecraft was like kind of like slowly inching its way up, and then it got to the top, and then it started to slowly come down. Fortnite is just like boom out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't think that things that get a huge spike in growth just out of nowhere, it might not be exactly great for them, because it might hold them to the expectation of the hype.
But don't you think Fortnite is delivering on that though?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they've been coming out with like
Yes.
updates like so quick. They're coming out with updates, they're coming up with patches. There was a matchmaking issue a few days ago, but they fixed that.
Fortnite, you know what? Discount everything I said. Fortnite is here to stay.
I personally, I didn't like the game for a long time, but I recently, like just a few days, like a day ago, I started to get kind of into it. I was like, okay, I'm kind of understanding why people.
The beauty of it is that it's the battle royale, which is what the majority of people are playing, is free. So I think that's a big thing that's obviously helping them out, because you don't have to pay anything. Fortnite, for me, I think the game delivers this kind of rush that not a lot of games replicate. At least not a lot of games that I've played. You know, perhaps Overwatch, the rush you get at the end, or the rush you get from getting a promotion. But for Fortnite to be able to do that almost every game, if you get far enough, you know, when the storm has created a small circle and you're kind of scared and running around, I think that's a really fun thing. But the game is also a lot of just running around.
That's the biggest thing that made me not like it for the longest time, is just the amount of running around to actually doing something. Like the ratio of that was like just so low. Yeah, and that's why I didn't like it.
I wouldn't mind that in a completely open world game that isn't, you know, just one match. You know, because I don't mind running around. But when you have to do it every single match almost, it's it can get boring. You know.
Yeah.
The map, I know it's a lot smaller than Fortnite's map, right? But
yeah, I think so.
But still, it seems huge.
Yeah, the map still seems pretty big.
It's kind of a huge thing for it, because I think the appeal of games with smaller maps is that you're rushed into the action right away. You know, you can compare Battlefield and Call of Duty. Battlefield, for the most part, has bigger maps, and it's a lot of just kind of running around. But Call of Duty, it seems like there's someone around every quarter.
Yeah, I feel like Battlefield is still like, because I like Battlefield, like there's still something always going on, and even though like there is a lot less action in Battlefield, there's always action going on somewhere in Battlefield, you know? And I guess it's kind of the same way with Fortnite, but like...
But Fortnite is a completely different kind of game in the fact that, you know, you're not on this big team. You know, the biggest team you can really be on is 4. Unless, you know, I remember they had like 50 versus 50 or 20,
50 v 50.
That's not the real game. That was just kind of like arcade mode they had temporarily.
Yeah.
So the game is just running around, but then you get this amazing rush.
The small like seconds, and I don't know, like I've lately been getting into like top 20, like I've been like consistently getting into top 20 during solos, and then I think the closest I got was like 7th place or 5th place, and that's when I was like, oh my goodness, this is actually something. Yeah, but I don't know, I still have like a little bit of reservations because you have to go through so much just like walking and just slow gameplay in order to get to that final minute, and when you do get there, it's just so slow. I mean, it's fast, but like it takes you the whole game, like the whole like a 30-minute game. How long is a game? It's like 10 minutes, right?
No, it's longer. It's like 20 minutes.
20 minutes? Yeah, 20 minutes for a game just to get into the top like 20. Yeah, 15 to 20 minutes. Like I've been liking it more, but I would have to play a little bit more in order to see how much I like it. But I've been getting into it a bit more than I was before. Well, before I didn't like it. I was like avidly against it. Yeah. I did not like that game. But
well, another big thing in Fortnite, which is I think it's weird, and it's just weird, and I don't know how good it is for it. And it's the fact that there's crossplay between every platform. And when I say every platform, I mean every platform that you can play. We just did this the other day where I was playing on my phone and Henry was playing on his computer, and it was seamless, and it's cool, but I mean there is kind of that skill cap difference between what you can do on a phone and what you can do on a computer.
Well, maybe for you. No, I'm joking. Not this. I think it's fine because like the only people that do that are people that want to do that.
What do you mean?
Like the only people that play from mobile to PC are people that want to play from mobile to PC. Like nobody goes into a mobile match and go like, oh dang, I hope I don't get placed into a PC match, because that doesn't happen.
Yeah, not really. Actually, they probably match you against other mobile players.
Yeah,
with a few outliers here and there.
Yeah. So I don't think it's that big of an issue, but
okay, yeah, you bring up a good point. I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that big of an issue. It's only like when people want to do it. I think it's a gimmick that people will try a couple times and then go like, I don't know, not that into it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of mobile games. It's too clunky, the controls.
But yeah, that's Fortnite. Did you have anything else to say?
No, not really. Fortnite is fun at certain times, but boring at other times. But perhaps people have different views. Let us know what you guys think.
Oh yeah, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. So the last topic, and it's kind of going to be a short topic just because, I don't really want to talk about it too much. I just want to say thanks to everyone who subscribed recently.
Especially the April.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's been a lot of people coming from the April Fool's video. We jumped from 78 subscribers and now we have 138. How big of a jump was that?
That was about 60 people.
Yeah, that's about like 60 people.
That's almost double.
Yeah, that's almost double our subscribers that we had before.
In just about one video.
And almost one video, because the other video, the EQO video, that one's been getting a lot of views as well, and getting a good number of subscribers from that one too. Like I think like 20 subscribers came from that one, or maybe like 10 something. Just thank you you guys for subscribing. Thank you for the views, thank you for the likes. We're gonna keep making news videos. We're gonna do some gameplay videos from time to time. We're gonna see if you guys like these. We'll keep doing these if you guys like this. This is kind of like a test, so I'm not sure if we're actually gonna do this every week, but we'll see. And we're reviews even less often. That's not gonna be like every week. That's gonna be once in the blue moon, but we'll do reviews too. Reviews, gameplay, and news. Mostly news though. And yeah, thanks for watching if you watched all the way to the end. And if you did watch all the way to the end, we just cut it right there. That's it.